When you meet someone who is new to Canada, particularly a refugee claimant, you need to understand that English probably isn't their first language. And you probably don't speak their language. Now, that's not always the case, but let's just talk in generalities, okay? We can be pretty sensitive about communicating with someone who's new because you never know if you're saying something that's wrong or that's going to be misunderstood or you're going to misrepresent yourself. Maybe we're even worried that we're going to offend them. Now, let me put you at ease a little bit because they're thinking the same thing. They're thinking the same way. English is maybe not their first language, and they want to be very careful with you also. And so what that means is there's a lot of grace there, there's a lot of margin there, and I think that together you can just have fun with that space. You can laugh about it, and you can start to bring down some barriers already. But I will say this, there's probably two things that you should never ask a newly arrived refugee claimant. The first thing you shouldn't ask a newly arrived refugee claimant is, why are you here? No matter how you phrase that, that's really going to be communicated and misunderstood, or let's say it will be understood as, you should not be here. And so we want to avoid that, of course, at least I hope we do. The second thing that we should never ask a newly arrived refugee claimant is, what happened to you? Obviously, we can put that in much softer, we can use much softer phrasing around that, and I don't think we would be so bold to say to someone, what happened to you? I'm even a little uncomfortable saying it myself. But when we ask that question or some form of it, we're asking people to remember or recall maybe some violence or something very, very traumatic and difficult, and it just brings them a lot of stress. And we certainly don't want to put them in that position. And more to the point, we might be asking them to lie. Because if they're uncomfortable and they don't want to share, they don't know you well, this is not a space of trust yet, then they may feel they have to lie to you. And we don't want to do that to them either. So those are the two things that you should not ask a newly arrived refugee claimant. I'll come back at you soon with the things that you should ask a newly arrived refugee claimant. But for now, thanks for clicking on the channel, and we'll see you again soon.